down, it's raining out. Yeah, I got the music loud. Hey kids, here we go. Heavy metal disco. Put your hands up. This is love in America. Now I'm through to Broadway, dancing with a heartache. For the world to kiss. This is love in America.
How does directing make you feel so exposed?
Well, it's the writing as well. I've spent my whole life with somebody else's words in my mouth.
Yeah.
When it comes to film, and now these are my words, and it's I can't blame anything on the director or the final edit. It's all me, and I feel very, very responsible. It's also it's not my politics, but it's because it's not a political movie, but it does have politics in it, and it is the side of politics and the side of the world that I focus on, and I care about, and so it is very much me. It is the project that is the most me and where my heart is, and so it is very exposing.
If there's something that puts you on that track of being curious and wanting to know and wanting to go for yourself and see what was happening.
Yes. When I started to travel, I started to quickly realize how much I didn't know. When I went to Cambodia, I was shocked at how much I didn't know, and then when I started to research and you know, you open your mind and you realize how much there is that you are sheltered from, especially if you're growing up in America. That we went through years of this war really not being told what was going on. No matter how strongly the reporters were fighting to get the information out, we were not pushed and inspired in a way. The American people did not understand the full gravity of what was actually happening.
And what was at stake.
And what was at stake.
And the consequences of not acting.
That's right.
The whole sense that was said, you know, history will judge badly if we look the other way.
But we did.
But we did.
I didn't intend on making a movie. I didn't intend on ever directing. I just sat down as kind of a meditation. I'd written journals or op-eds and thought, well, I work in film, maybe this is a way of kind of expressing a narrative. I was very frustrated with lack of intervention. I was very frustrated to try to understand so many people I met. I thought, oh, if we could just have gotten there sooner, this wouldn't have happened. If we could have just, what can we do? And so I wanted to write a story that would show people that as you're watching it, you're sitting there hoping for something to stop this. And you're watching all these different people, sisters and mothers, fathers, fathers and sons, children, and you're watching all these human beings, and human beings you can relate to, I hope, and you watch what happens to them over the course of these years and how decent, relatable people become people you cannot understand, and so primal and so violent, and so and neighbors kill each other, and people are forever damaged, and how does that happen? And so I would hope it would bring out the responsibility to remember Bosnia, learn from it, and understand the importance of intervention. The storyline is it starts with sisters and this couple, and it starts with Bosnia before the war, and we tried to show in a very tight period of time, but we tried to show the life of this part of the world. You know, former Yugoslavia is such an extraordinarily special part of the world. The artistry, the music, the life. So we wanted to show that. And then in a moment, the war starts. And then months later, and not even months later, immediately it escalated, and very quickly people started to get pulled apart. And it was, I think what people will see in it is that the Serbian army it wasn't a haphazard kind of, it was a very organized army, and it was very quickly, people were quickly divided, and there was
genocide.
And there was genocide, and it happened systematically and quickly, and then during the course of the war, all sides took part. There are 161 people, you know, in the ICTY. There are 160 now after suicide, and they're not all Serbian. They're mostly Serbian. They're people from all sides. What happened to these people that lived as one, these people that intermarried, these people that loved each other and were neighbors? What happened, and what does war do to people? So So it's universal. It's happening today. It's happening today around the world.
Do you have some sense of what the power of film might be? Yeah.
I hope with this film that it isn't just a reminder of this time in history, but I hope also I hope people get to know this part of the world, and they get to know people from this part of the world, and they relate to them, and they feel a kinship to them, because I think that's important. And film can do, I think, that we can send strong messages. But this film in particular, I wanted people to relate and feel and care and connect. All actors are from the region, and they're all from opposite sides of the conflict. And that was part of the thought behind it. I wrote the script and I sent it to actors from Serbia, from Belgrade, Serbia, Croatia, Bosnian Serbs, Bosnian Muslims, and I thought, if I can get all of them to agree on one story, and we can all agree to do this together, then that in itself will be something. And they did, and they came together as a family, and that is so symbolic of what we all hope for the future of that region. I didn't show it to anybody for a long time.
Not Brad? No.
I eventually showed it to Brad because it was sitting on my desk, and it was this kind of funny project that I was working on that nobody saw.
Yes.
So I sent it with him. He had to do 2 days of press in Japan, and he wrote me an email from Japan and said, I sat up and read your script, and I finished it, and it's pretty good, honey. You should,
Yeah,
you know.
you'd be proud.
Yeah, he said it's, you know, he was very supportive, but I don't think it crossed either one of our minds that it was then still going to become an actual film. It's still strange for me it's an actual film.
Why is that?
Because I never sat down and said I want to be a director and I want to be a filmmaker or a writer. I didn't.
You had a story you wanted to tell.
I just had a story I wanted to tell, and I had this great excuse in making a movie was my chance to learn about a region and befriend people from the area and have this experience. So it was my great life lesson that I could have this education, have this time, and I love the experience of it, and I love this cast, and I learned so much, and in the process it became a film. But I'm still very shy about being a filmmaker. That wasn't the intention. I mean, if I said I'm worried, are we getting this right, are we balancing this right? I knew I had to ask that question every day, and every day I was worried, and every day I would make sure we were trying to find the balance, and I was never sure we did, but I knew always that my intention was in the right place, and the cast said, you know, even when we had complications, and you know this region so well, they said, well, you know, welcome to the region. Exactly. There's no way you're going to skate through this without controversy and a lot of pressure and sensitivity, and this is a complicated, deeply passionate part of the world, and it's going to be heavy. I was very shy when I first started to go to the field. I didn't want to get anybody's way. These Doctors Without Borders, UN workers, I don't want to get anybody's way. I don't want to be, I didn't know what to do or how to find my footing.
And you want to be perceived as some movie star who's dropping in.
And I didn't want to put a negative spin on their work. I didn't want them to be, you know, attached to somebody that then made their work seem less serious. So I was always, but they always welcomed me and taught me and educated me, and I'm so grateful for all the people, whether it be American military men or UN officials or refugees or people like yourself who were willing to talk to me and give me that education and talk to me straight and talk to me as an adult and not, you know, and allow me to learn. Or
this sense of adventure that you had, in the sense of you would let no one define who you were in your public or private conduct. You know, that's been an engine for you that served you well and continues to serve you well.
Thank you.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think
it's a wildness, it's an adventure, it's a sense of this is who I am, and I'll channel this in lots of different ways.
And maybe it's that little punk in me that still feels like you can all come against me, but I'm going to fight for what I believe is right, even if we're going to get into it, and it's going to, you know. So yes.
How does she do it all? How does she be an actress, an international celebrity, a humanitarian, and now a filmmaker, and most importantly, a companion and a mother? How do you do all that? What's the...
I have a great partner in Brad.
Right.
And we talked a long time ago about how to balance this life and knowing the dangers of working in this field, in this business. And and just the stresses of normal life anyway. But we made a decision that we would always take turns working, that we would always travel with each other,
Right.
that we would never separate for months while one of us is having an experience, an adventure, and being away from the children, and the other one is sitting at home with the children. And we decided the only way we're going to be able to do this with this many children, and we have the good fortune to be able to make this choice in our career, is that we stay together and we experience life together and we raise these children together. And so we're in New York together
Right.
with
Yeah.
the children together. And when I shot this film, I was with him when he shot Moneyball, and then it was over, and then we all moved together to shoot in the Land of Blood and Honey, and he then would bring the kids to set, and we just so I don't do it all the time. I do some things part of the time, and the other part of the time I'm just at home being a mom. And then for 6 months or however many months I go to work, but I've got a great man who helps me and supports me, and the children are part of my work. My ambition has always been to be of use and to feel like I'm doing the right things with my life, like most people. I think, I don't want to be more successful. I don't want more money. I don't want. I want my kids to be healthy, and I want to have a great family, and I want them to be great people. That's my ambition. And along the way, if I can be a part of things in life that I think are important and subject matters that I think are important, or even be a part sometimes of the solution for these big issues that concern me, and then that's wonderful, and then that makes me feel of value. But first, I want to make sure I'm raising the children right. And I met these actors and this family, and they pulled me through this story, and they all lived through the war, and some of them were soldiers during the war, some of them were children during the war, they were wounded during the war, and they taught me, and they led me through this, and we did this together. So it's a family that made this film. It's not me.
Tell me what the theme of this is. In other words, if someone came to you and said, so what is... I hear you, I'm listening, I know what you've done. What are you saying in this film? Or you just simply want people to understand and experience
Well, I think
that it took place?
I do want people to remember this time in history and understand it and get to know these people from the region and learn about it. But it's universal. The themes of it are universal, and what the film was intended to be was a study in human beings and how war takes its toll on human beings, and what it does to humanity, and how it warps people, and how it changes people, and this is why when we talk about intervention or what to do when there's something going on right now in the world, the longer we wait. So the idea was, as you're watching this movie, you're watching it and you should be sitting in your seat thinking, will somebody please stop this? Can this please stop? Oh, please don't go any further. Oh, don't do that. Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it, because that's what that should help people to understand, and connect to when we talk about intervention and we talk about war and we talk about it's human beings, it's people, it's families, and to kind of put a human face on it to understand the importance of it, because this film is really just about many people and how they are in the beginning of the film and how the war changes them. It's what finally compelled international intervention. I think it was the turning point.
Right.
And did it have to go that far? Do we have to wait for when the rape numbers are at 5,000 and when it's not labeled genocide? This is what frustrates me about we sit on Darfur and we say, well, is it genocide? Is it crimes? What are crimes of aggression?
Right.
Is it ethnic cleansing yet? Let's talk for another 7 months and let's figure out how to label it. That's right.
This is a story about women as well.
It is certain. Well, and I suppose I couldn't write it any other way than through the eyes of a woman.
Yeah.
So it is very much.
What happens to women in war?
Yes. It touches it absolutely the violence against women. This war was particular for that as well. I mean, it was used. Rape was used as a crime against women intentionally, and it changed the laws, and it's one of the strongest cases. So that is very much a part of the.
But as we said at this table in New York, rape is being used
in Congo, in America, everywhere.
Do you know what project you're doing next?
No.
That's a nice feeling,
I'm
too.
unemployed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure
Thank
to be
you.
back. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good luck to all of you.